Acting is a terribly difficult skill to learn, and even the best actors won't be able to do anything if the director isn't good enough. Well, that's not stressful. Recently, I've spent a lot of time working with and directing actors. Here's what I learned. The goal of a movie is often to provoke emotions. As human beings, we connect and empathize with other human beings. But to achieve this, we first need to get to know them, and to get to know them, the director needs to show the audience the character's face. Most importantly, their eyes. So here are a few advices you can give your actors so they know better how to use their face when acting.
I believe Mark was an excellent director, which made him very fun to work with.
He was an amazing director. He was very organized, he was very patient, and would always, help us out and tell us what we're doing is right or what we're doing is wrong. He never hesitated to tell us what we were doing wrong and to help us get better.
I think Mark was a pretty good director all around because he's good at managing all his actors and keep everyone focused. Although some people, like me, can get pretty dissipated. I think he was good at keeping me focused on what the objective was.
Number 1. Don't blink. As said earlier, the more you see a character's face, the easier it gets to connect with them. So it goes without saying that the more they blink, the less you'll see their eyes, the harder it will become to connect with them. Additionally, blinking can mean two things. First, that your character has finished processing an information, in which case you can cut to the next shot, or that the character is either weak or stupid. Actors in movies rarely blink, and they never do at the beginning or end of a shot. Actually, the blinking of actors is usually used as a cue for the editor to cut away. So the less your actor blinks, the more freedom your editor will have during the editing process. Number 2. Acting is a change in a state of being. A common misconception around acting is that good acting is being able to realistically act an emotion. Although this plays a huge role in acting, I think it is nowhere near the hardest part of acting. I believe what it takes to be a really good actor is actually the ability to go from one emotion to another in one shot. As a director, you must tell this to your actor and make it clear what emotions they start with and transition to. Your actor can, for example, transition from fear to serenity, excitement to happiness, confidence to fear, or confusion to despair.
Sarah! Sarah! She's gone! She's gone! You hear that? She can't be!
You gotta emphasize this change, because at the end of the day, this is what filmmaking is all about. It's about a change, a cause, and a consequence. Keep that in mind.
Number 3. Fuck, there was a 2. 3.
Tell, don't show. Okay. This advice might sound weird considering it is the opposite of what people usually say when giving advice about storytelling. But hear me out. When directing an actor, you can say anything to make them understand what you want. But never, oh never, should you act out how you want them to act. Otherwise, they won't be acting. They'll just be copying whatever you're doing. And it won't feel natural. Alright, if you really don't know what to say, I'll allow you to sometimes use comparisons. What I mean is that you can give your actors a reference of how they should act. For example, in this scene, I told my actress to act like an over-the-top Disney villain because I wanted to capture this kind of crazy yet fun vibe.
You wanna dance, big boy?
Well, I was only joking.
Okay, then get out of
I
here.
don't want any
then.
trouble.
Get out. Run! Oh, this is so funny. Oh.
Where the hell did you get that?
Don't worry about it.
Oh my god, what the fuck crazy.
Isn't that why you love me, darling?
And this brings me to my next point. It is really important to get to know your actors personally. And I know this might sound very shitty, but you can use their own experiences to your advantage. For example, if a character in your movie is experiencing loss and you know your actor lost someone important in their life, you can maybe try to ask them to remember how they felt. Of course, this is why you need to know your actors well, so you can know their boundaries and make sure to always make them comfortable. So of course, don't go as far as Kubrick with Shelley Duvall in Shining, where he drove her to mental and physical exhaustion just for the sake of perfect acting.
That's probably a combination of Mark's ability to keep people comfortable around him. He is very good at that. Whenever I failed, I know I didn't feel ashamed or scared of his reaction.
Numero 4. Actors aren't robots.
Preview.
Actors. What the fuck was that? One of the biggest mistakes a director can make when directing actors is to say something along the lines of, alright, do the same thing, but with more passion. Try harder. Alright, the same thing, but more. Now, I know it can be very hard, because as a director it can be tempting to say those things when you aren't getting what you want from your actors. But trust me, it doesn't really mean anything to the actor and can be very frustrating for them. I know this because I've made this mistake and keep on making it sometimes. If your actor is underacting, just give them a stronger comparison. For example, if a character in a scene is supposed to be very excited, you can start by telling your actor to act as if they got 100% in an exam. If they're still underacting, you can tell them they just won the lottery. If they are still underacting, tell them, that they just got hired for their dream job. Anything to get the desired reaction. The one thing you can tell them is to not be scared of overacting. Especially with amateur actors who tend to be a bit shy in front of the camera or who are scared of acting too theatrically. So you are allowed to say to not be scared of overacting. Or if they are already overacting, to not be scared to underact.
Not as good parts for Mark is him inventing emotions, let's say. Sometimes emotions were pretty hard to play and he struggled to explain them to his actors.
If I had to sum up all that I said in this video to one last advice, I'd say that you should create a trustful relationship with your actor.
We were never in a bad place when we were with him. It was always funny, it was always like hardworking and everything.
Your actors should trust you enough so they don't watch themselves acting and rely on you completely to tell them if they were good or not. That way, they'll actually let go and give the best version of themselves. A version that is natural and isn't forcing themselves.
The other actors and the director and cinematographer all made me feel very comfortable since I'm quite close with them. They would also compliment me and give me feedback on how I could be a better actress, which was very useful for me.
When I did have to act for people at school, for example, I wouldn't feel most comfortable in front of the camera, but with Mark and the atmosphere he managed to create on set, I did feel more comfortable, which was very enjoyable. And thank you, Mark, for that one.
So how do you make your actors trust you? One way to do that is to know your script and your project by heart. Show them that you know what you are doing.
He's very passionate about this whole project. That certainly helps in making it successful.
Also, constantly reassure your actors and tell them that they are good. Even when there are some stuff that can be better, always tell them what you think they did good. If you liked something in their acting, tell them. Actors are human beings and they need to be reassured, especially considering how hard their job is and how scary it can be. My actors often make fun of me because there's one thing I always say during shootings. Alright, this was good. Very good. But This can sound very cliche, and it's not always easy to give compliments, but it really is necessary. So give it a try.
Every time an actor can improve on something, he asks them to do so, but also that attention to detail doesn't come at the cost of the relaxed atmosphere that was present in these shootings.
He was never lazy. He always knew what to do. He was always prepared. So I feel like he was an amazing director.
Thank you for watching this video. I know this one wasn't as good as my previous videos, but with exams and projects I had to finish for school, I really didn't have much time and actually ended up doing this video in 2 days. So I hope you'll be understanding. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and go watch the other videos. Bye!
A funny anecdote that I would like to share from filming was probably when I was getting kidnapped by Mark. You know, we had to do it many times. Obviously I had to act like I was getting kidnapped, so I had to kick Mark, and it was very hard because I had to yell a lot and we had to reshoot it at least like 20 times because it was a long shot too, and we really had to like get it right. So it was really funny when I kicked Mark in the face, and I kicked him many times.
Oh, sorry. Oh my.
So as we're just students in school, high school, whatever you want to call it, we don't necessarily have a lot of apparatus to use for this, not a lot of stabilizers for cameras. So to counter this problem, we used a friend as a stabilizer. So what we did was we had 2 people carrying one friend horizontally who was trying to hold the camera to minimize the movement. Because it was a scene in which I had to run, it was very hard to keep up with. We used a human as a stabilizer.